second legs we go now over in the Europa League. That's right, qualifying campaign as we edge closer to that illustrious league phase of the draw. Who, of course, will make that transition, who, of course, will take a tumble. Well, today, we're going to take a little look. Alrighty, folks, let's get into it. Of course, taking a look back at, of course, Europa League action this past week, of course, and now looking forward to these coming games. Who, of course, will go through, who, of course, will take a tumble to the Conference League. We'll take a look at all of it in a second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe. You must have for Europa League. Blabbing-overs, woo, football, we're all here under one rooski. That's right, guys and girls. Lots of action, lots of drama, lots of goals, of course. But big shout out to the members of the patrons. You know who you are. But we're going to jump into it, recapping the results from this past week. See who, of course, is a little bit closer to those knockout stages, or at least the league phase, and who, of course, will have to go through the playoff. Well, we'll see. Take a look at these. Here they're coming at you. On the left-hand side, my predictions. The real scoreline is in the black font with the white out rim, or outside, or whatever you want to call it. But I don't think I did good this week in the Europa League. Here we go. Kick it all off. Spartans did lose to Maccabi Tel Aviv. I got the one bang on point. Meanwhile, RFS picked up a 2-1 loss to Cups. I went the other way. Rijeka also lost to Shelbourne. Big surprise victory there. The Imps, they did manage a massive scoreline, a draw against Noah, goodness gracious me, from Gibraltar. Meanwhile, Fredrikstad did lose to Midtjylland. I got 3-1 scoreline. That was the 3-1 scoreline. I went with the 2-1 with myself. Meanwhile, Legia also got thumped by HNK Rijeka. I went the other way. Häcken also losing to Brann. The 2-0 winners in the Scandinavian counter. Cluj did lose to Sporting Braga. I went with the score draw there. PAOK could only draw against Wolfsberger. 2-0 winners I went with. Zrinjski Mostar did draw with Breiðablik. I went with the 2-1 home win on that one. There was a score draw, or was a draw between Panathinaikos and Shakhtar Donetsk 0-0. I went with a 2-2 scoreline. Steaua Bucharest did beat Drita Gjilan 3-2. And of course, Utrecht did beat Servette out of Switzerland. So yeah, I did a bit hit and miss on that one, but it is only halfway there. We're going to get into the next round of games, and they, of course, are the second legs, spreading, of course, from the 12th to the 14th of August. We're going to kick it all off with a trip to Israel, or maybe a neutral venue, I don't know. Anyways, coming at you actually at the TSC Arena, Maccabi Tel Aviv under Zarko Zatic, coming into this on 58% form for them right now, just one win in the last 4. Up against the Spartans, managed by the Italian Giancomo Marica. They're coming into this losing 5 of the last 6, and including this reverse fixture over in Malta. That's right. Coming at you right here, right now, looking at it. I don't think any of the domestic leads are up in action, of course, but we don't have any odds either for this game. So we're going to go with a victory for the hosts, Maccabi Tel Aviv, which again, with the first leg, should see them comfortably go through. Next up, we go Cups. They're taking on, who are they taking? They're taking on FK RFS Rijeka. Is that right? No, it's not. It's whatever it is. It's bloody, RFS. Let's get into it. Cups up against FC RFS, that's right, out of Latvia, coming out of the Cups Football Stadium, managed by, of course, Jako Vis, the legend, just one defeat in the last 6 for them. Up against RFS, who've won 3 and lost 3 over the last 6, including losing the last match against these guys, the reverse fixture, when they hosted this, of course, encounter. Coming into this, domestically, Cups taking on KTP Kolka in their domestic flight. They're going to hopefully expected to win that game, the bookies anyway. As for RFS, they take on Supernova in their domestic encounter over the weekend. That is right. But the bookies for this one, they'll go with Cups for the victory on the night. I'm going to go with the 1-1 scoreline. Again, we'll have to see who, of course, will go through following a draw in my eyes. Meanwhile, Shelbourne with a surprise lead. They're up in action, taking on Rijeka, coming at you on the 12th of August. Joseph O'Brien, the coach there over at Shelbourne. Back-to-back wins now for them. They've actually won 2, lost 2 over the last 4. Up against Rijeka under Radomir Djurkovic, coming at you with just 1 win in the last 5. They play each other at Tolka Park this time around after the previous encounter. 2-1 wins for Shelbourne over in Rijeka. Of course, the Irish coming in, just taking on Bohemians this weekend. They're expected to win that game, but only just. Rijeka took on Usic this weekend and expected to win that game as well. The bookies for this one, they go with Rijeka for the away side here, but I'm going to go against, I'm also joining them actually, going to go with a 3-1 win for HNK Rijeka as well. Meanwhile, kicking off, we go Noah. They're going to be taking on Lincoln Red Imps. This time they're hosting the encounter after a surprise draw over on the Rock. That's right, Noah Yerevan coming at you with Sandro Perkovic, the coach. Back-to-back games now unbeaten. However, just 1 win the last 5. Up against the Red Imps, managed by Juan Basares. They've winless in the last 3, but they did pick up a cheeky draw when they hosted Noah Yerevan in their own backyard. Coming into this, what are we looking at? Yerevan taking on BKMA Yerevan in their domestic top flight this coming weekend. As for the Imps, They're fully focused on this game, it looks like. I don't think their domestic top flight has returned just yet. Bookies for this one, they'll go with Yerevan. Going to go with a 2-0 win as well for the hosts for me on this one. Let's go to Midtjylland out of Denmark. They're going to be taking on Fredrikstad out of Norway, maybe? Yes, I think so. Coming out to the MCH Arena. They played twice in 2024, once in the Atlantic Cup the other time, most recently. Reverse fixture, 3-1 win as it was. So Midtjylland, though, coming into this with Thomasberg, the coolest name in town, unbeaten in at least the last 8 matches. Up against Fredrikstad, coming into this just 1 win in the last 5 for them, heading into this. Of course, domestically, what are we looking at here? Midtjylland taking on Fredrikstad this coming weekend. They're expected to win that game, according to the bookies. Fredrikstad, they might be in action. I don't know. I don't know actually if they're in action or not, because I can't see anything. But anyway, the bookies go Midtjylland on this one, as does Dirk. 3-0 winners in the end. Let's kick it on forward. Legia Warsaw, they're coming at you with a mounted decline up against HNK Rijeka, this time over in Poland. Can they turn this massive deficit around? They played twice in 2016. One was a friendly the other time. Was that 4-1 win for Rijeka over in Cyprus? Legia Warsaw managed by Edward Ionescu, the Romanian, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Rijeka, managed by Emanuel Adekias, the Spaniard, of course, with 75% form for them at the moment. Coming into this domestic season in Cyprus, doesn't get going to the back end of August. Legia also taking on Kowachi, where they're expected to win that game, and they're going to expect to win the following game against these guys, with the bookies hotly tipped for them to go to this. I don't know what went wrong in the first leg against Rijeka in their own backyard. It was a mounted decline. I do think they'll win this game, but I just don't think it's going to be enough, unfortunately. Legia also might be playing Conference League football later on in the calendar here. So Brann will take on Häcken Gothenburg in a Scandinavian camp at Brann Stadion. Of course, Brann managed by Freya Alexandersson, the Icelander, unbeaten now in the last 3 matches. Up against Häcken Gothenburg, managed by Jens Gustafsson, just 1 win in the last 6. That 1 win for the reverse fixture, should I say, was a 2-0 win for Brann at Gothenburg back the other week. Then, of course, not yet in action. I can't see them in action at the moment anyway. Brann heading into this one. Gothenburg taking on Degerfors in the Swedish top flight. They're expected to lose that game, and also expected to lose this game when Brann host Häcken Gothenburg. With that 2-0 aggregate scoreline, a lot of mountains to climb there for Häcken. I do think they'll win it though, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think it still falls short. They'll try and come back into it, but ultimately I'm going to go, looks like I'm going to go with Brann to squeak through. Let's go Braga against Cluj. That's right, coming at Portugal. Braga Municipal is the venue. Carlos Vincenzo is the coach there, unbeaten in the last 8 matches, winning 5 of those last 6, 92% form. Up against Cluj, managed by the legend, that is Dan Petrescu, just 1 win in the last 6. And they last played over at Braga. It was a 2-0 win for Cluj back in September 2012. Goodness gracious me, but the reverse fixture this campaign was a 2-1 win for Braga at Romania just the other week. Coming into this, Braga will get their Portuguese top flight action up against Tondela this weekend, up against Cluj, who may or not be in action right now. I can't see it at the moment. But anyway, regarding this one, the bookies go with Braga. Of course they do, as do I. 3-1 win with that other scoreline. It looks like the Portuguese outfit will go through. And of course, Cluj may have to settle for another match over in the Conference League. We go Wolfsberger out of Austria, taking on PAOK, coming at you out of Greece. That's right, at the UEFA Stadion. Wolfsberg managed by Dita Kumbavara, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against PAOK, managed by Razan Lucescu, the Romanian, also coming into this on just 1 defeat in the last 6. Both sides, 67% form coming into this, and also on the back of a 0-0 scoreline. Wolfsberger taking on Austria Vienna this weekend. They're expected to lose that game. They're on the road. PAOK may or may, I don't think they're in action just yet. The Greek top flight not going until the back end of August here. So fully focused on this one, where they're expected to win. The bookies have PAOK as favoured. I've gone with a 1-1 scoreline. It might go to penalties. We'll see who comes through that in lickety-split time in just a second. Breiðablik taking on Zrinjski Mostar. That's right, coming out of the Cup of Azor over in Iceland. They are managed by Haldur Arnason, the Icelander. They are winless, though, in the last 5 matches. Up against Zrinjski Mostar, managed by Igor Stimic, the Croatian. They are also winless in the last 3, and they played each other 3 times since 2023. A win apiece and a draw between the 2 sides. The last time they played at Breiðablik, it was a 1-0 win for Breiðablik back in August 2023. The reverse fixture, a 1-1 scoreline. So if we do get a repeat of that 1-0 scoreline, it will be Breiðablik going through. They're, of course, taking on Valjo Reykjavik in the Icelandic top flight this weekend. Zrinjski Mostar may or may not be in action right now. I can't see it. But the bookies for this one, they'll go with the Zrinjski Mostar. It's tight. Could go either way. I've gone that way myself, leaning towards the opposition, the away side here for the victory. Meanwhile, we have a spicy one. It's Shakhtar Donetsk against Panathinaikos coming at you over at the HNK Rijeka Stadion. That's right, played each other just the one time. It was a 0-0 scoreline. Shakhtar, managed by Arda Turan, unbeaten now in the last 4, just one defeat in the last 6. Up against Panathinaikos, managed by Rui Vitoria, just one win in the last 6. The Portuguese man in a bit of trouble here, coming at you right here, right now. Shakhtar taking on Capital Aviv this weekend in the Ukrainian top flight, with Panathinaikos waiting to get their domestic season up and running. The bookies will go with Donetsk. I will too. 3-1 win. Of course, that first leg, we'll see that. The Ukrainians go through, and of course Panathinaikos take a tumble maybe to the Conference League. Meanwhile, we've got Drita Gjilan up against Steaua Bucharest, or FCSB as they're now known. Fredrikstad Stadium is the venue. Drita managed by what are we looking at? Ramadan Rijeka. They're winners in the last 3. In fact, they lost 3 on the bounce. Up against FCSB, managed by Ilias Chamalabaras, the Cypriot, just one win in the last 5. And that one win was the reverse fixture when these two sides locked horns over in Bucharest. Coming at you right here, right now, FCSB taking on Urias Slobozia. They're expected to smash them this weekend, with Drita's domestic top flight not going until the 16th of August. The bookies, they'll go with FCSB, despite being in the away side. 2-1 winners for me. Is that enough? We'll see in about 20 seconds here. Utrecht will wrap it all up, though. They're taking on Servette out of Switzerland. This match, though, over at the Stadion Galwagen. They played just the one time. Of course, Utrecht with Ron Jans at the helm. Just one defeat in the last 6. Up against Servette. Geneva coming at you with 4 defeats on the spin, with Bodjan Dimic in the dugout. The 3-1 win for the first leg for Utrecht in Switzerland puts them in the driving seat. They're taking on Hercules Almelo in the first game in the Dutchlands this season, with Servette taking on Grasshopper in their match, where both sides are in the home side and expected to win domestically. But the bookies have this one go in favour of Utrecht, and I think I do as well. Going to go with a 2-0 win for Utrecht. But does that mean they go through? Well, let's have a little look and get your calculators out right here, right now. So, Maccabi Tel Aviv go through 4-1. Cups will join them, as will HNK Rijeka. Shelbourne taking a tumble to the Conference League. Meanwhile, Noah will come by the Lincoln Red Imps 3-1. Midtjylland doing the business against Fredrikstad. HNK Rijeka going through. Warszawa go to the Conference League, at least the playoff anyway. Brann with a 3-2 aggregate scoreline over Häcken. Got Sporting Braga comfortably through over Cluj. Penalty shootout victory of PAOK over Wolfsberger in Austria. That's how I see it. Meanwhile, Zrinjski Mostar will also navigate through, as will Shakhtar Donetsk with that 3-1 scoreline. FCSB comfortably through, and Utrecht will join them, guys and girls. That's how I see it pan out in those next round of qualifying second legs. But what about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, as we look forward to seeing those and much more. But until then, I'll see you soon. Smash the like, smash the subscribe. Back again. I'm out of here.